Ever wondered what secrets allow Amish woodworkers to create masterpieces that modern machinery can't replicate? While modern furniture makers rely on power tools and computer precision, Amish craftsmen use ancient techniques that produce furniture lasting centuries. Hand sensitivity. Modern woodworkers depend on digital calipers and moisture meters to assess lumber quality, but Amish craftsmen develop extraordinary hand sensitivity that reveals wood characteristics through touch alone. They can feel grain density variations, moisture content differences, and structural weaknesses that machines often miss. This tactile mastery takes decades to develop, beginning in childhood when young boys learn to distinguish between different wood species by texture and weight. Experienced Amish woodworkers can detect seasonal stress patterns, internal defects, and optimal cutting directions simply by running their hands across rough lumber. The human hand contains thousands of nerve endings that can detect variations invisible to modern instruments. Amish craftsmen use this biological precision to select the perfect piece for each furniture component, ensuring that grain patterns complement structural requirements while creating beautiful visual effects that mass production cannot achieve. Tool selection. While modern workshops overflow with specialized power tools, Amish woodworkers master a carefully chosen collection of hand tools that can accomplish any woodworking task with superior precision and control. Each tool serves multiple purposes through skilled application rather than single-function specialization. Their tool selection follows generations of refinement, choosing designs that have proven effective over centuries of use. Hand planes, chisels, saws, and measuring devices represent the culmination of traditional tool evolution, optimized for human strength and precision rather than electrical power. Modern power tools prioritize speed over accuracy, often creating tear-out, burn marks, and imprecise cuts that require additional finishing work. Amish hand tools cut cleanly at the craftsman's pace, allowing constant adjustment and control that produces superior results without corrective measures. Tool maintenance becomes a daily practice rather than occasional necessity. Amish woodworkers spend significant time sharpening, adjusting, and caring for their tools, understanding that sharp hand tools actually work faster and more accurately than dull power tools. This relationship between craftsman and tool creates results impossible with disposable, modern equipment. Joint precision. Modern furniture relies on screws, bolts, and glue joints that eventually fail under stress and time, but Amish woodworkers create mechanical joints that actually strengthen over decades of use. Mortise and tenon joints, dovetails, and complex interlocking connections require no fasteners yet provide superior strength and longevity. Hand-cut joints achieve precision that machine production cannot match because craftsmen adjust each connection for the specific wood pieces being joined. Seasonal wood movement, grain direction, and individual lumber characteristics all influence joint cutting, requiring human judgment that programmed machines lack. The cutting process involves multiple test fittings and gradual refinement until joints fit with exact precision, tight enough to require gentle persuasion but never force. This perfect fit creates joints that actually improve with age, as wood movement creates even tighter connections. Traditional joint cutting techniques allow for wood expansion and contraction without splitting or loosening. Amish craftsmen understand how different wood species move seasonally and design joints accordingly, creating furniture that accommodates natural wood behavior rather than fighting against it. Modern glue joints fail when moisture changes cause wood movement, but properly cut mechanical joints flex and adapt while maintaining structural integrity throughout decades of environmental changes. Natural timing. Modern furniture production operates on artificial schedules that ignore natural wood characteristics, but Amish woodworkers align their work with seasonal cycles and wood behavior patterns that optimize both workability and final quality. This timing knowledge prevents common problems that plague modern furniture. Spring and fall provide optimal conditions for different woodworking phases. Spring's rising humidity makes wood more pliable for bending and shaping operations, while fall's decreasing moisture content creates ideal conditions for final assembly and finishing work. Amish craftsmen understand that freshly cut lumber requires months or years of proper drying before use in furniture construction. They plan projects around lumber drying schedules rather than forcing green wood into immediate use, preventing the checking, warping, and joint failures that characterize rushed modern production. Daily work rhythms also follow natural patterns. Morning hours when humidity is higher suit detail work requiring wood flexibility, while afternoon conditions favor operations requiring dimensional stability. This sensitivity to environmental conditions produces consistently superior results. Wood species selection varies seasonally based on optimal cutting times for different trees. Oak cut in winter has different characteristics than summer cut lumber, and experienced Amish woodworkers schedule projects to utilize these natural variations for maximum quality. The patience required for natural timing conflicts with modern production demands, but results in furniture that performs better and lasts longer than artificially rushed alternatives. Inherited knowledge. While modern woodworkers learn from YouTube videos and weekend workshops, Amish craftsmen inherit knowledge systems developed over centuries of refinement and passed down through generations of master-apprentice relationships. This knowledge depth cannot be replicated through casual learning or formal education. Traditional knowledge transmission begins in early childhood when boys observe their fathers and grandfathers working. They absorb techniques through daily exposure rather than formal instruction, developing intuitive understanding of wood behavior, tool handling, and quality standards before they're old enough for active participation. Apprenticeship relationships last for years, allowing masters to share subtle techniques that cannot be communicated through written instructions or video demonstrations. The relationship between mentor and student creates knowledge transfer impossible in modern educational settings. Family workshops maintain detailed knowledge about local wood sources, seasonal cutting practices, and specific techniques developed over generations of serving the same communities. This accumulated wisdom includes solutions to problems that individual craftsmen might never encounter alone. Traditional pattern libraries preserve furniture designs tested over centuries of use. These patterns represent countless refinements and improvements, incorporating lessons learned from furniture performance in real family environments rather than laboratory testing. Problem-solving techniques passed through generations provide solutions for challenges that modern woodworkers must discover individually. When apprentices encounter difficulties, masters can draw upon decades of accumulated experience to provide guidance that prevents costly mistakes and wasted materials. This inherited knowledge system creates craftsmen with deeper understanding and broader capabilities than individual learning can achieve. Quality standards. Modern furniture manufacturing prioritizes cost reduction and production speed over quality, but Amish woodworkers maintain perfectionist standards that reject any piece failing to meet generational durability requirements. Their quality expectations eliminate the compromises that characterize mass production. Every joint, surface, and finish detail receives individual attention and approval before proceeding to the next step. This quality control happens continuously throughout construction rather than through final inspection that cannot correct fundamental problems embedded in rushed production processes. Amish craftsmen understand that their reputation depends on furniture performance decades after sale, creating incentives for quality that manufacturers with limited warranties lack. Community reputation and family business continuity depend on creating products that reflect well on craftsmanship for generations. Quality standards extend beyond visible elements to include internal construction details that customers never see but determine long-term performance. Grain orientation, joint fit, internal bracing, and finish penetration all receive attention that mass production cannot afford. The rejection rate in Amish workshops far exceeds modern manufacturing standards. Pieces with minor defects that would be acceptable in commercial production get reworked or discarded entirely, ensuring that only superior examples leave the workshop. Tool sharpness and setup precision receive constant attention because Amish craftsmen understand that quality results require quality processes. Dull tools, misaligned setups, and rush techniques cannot produce superior furniture regardless of skill level. Time investment in quality prevents the callbacks, repairs, and reputation damage that affect craftsmen whose standards accept mediocrity. The additional time spent ensuring perfection ultimately proves more efficient than correcting problems after completion. Material respect. Modern woodworking treats lumber as raw material to be forced into predetermined shapes, but Amish craftsmen approach each piece of wood as a unique living material with individual characteristics that must be honored and incorporated into the design process. Understanding wood grain patterns allows craftsmen to orient pieces for maximum strength while creating beautiful visual effects impossible with random grain placement. Each board receives individual evaluation to determine its best use within the furniture piece, maximizing both structural integrity and aesthetic appeal. Wood defects that modern production discards or hides become design features in Amish craftsmanship. Knots, grain irregularities, and color variations are incorporated as natural beauty rather than manufacturing problems requiring correction or concealment. The relationship between craftsman and material develops through handling thousands of board feet over decades of work. This experience creates intuitive understanding of how different species behave under various conditions, allowing craftsmen to predict and prevent problems before they occur. Waste minimization reflects both economic necessity and respect for the tree that provided the lumber. Amish workshops utilize every usable piece of wood, planning cuts to maximize yield while maintaining quality standards that commercial operations cannot match. Seasonal wood movement becomes a design consideration rather than a problem to be solved. Craftsmen design furniture that works with natural wood behavior, creating pieces that remain stable and attractive despite environmental changes that damage poorly designed furniture. The spiritual aspect of working with God's creation influences how Amish craftsmen approach their materials. This reverence creates careful, thoughtful work practices that honor the tree's contribution to human comfort and beauty. Modern keyline drying processes stress wood fibers and reduce natural resilience, but Amish air drying techniques preserve wood's natural characteristics while achieving necessary moisture content for stable construction. Patience. Philosophy. Modern society's demand for instant gratification conflicts fundamentally with the patience required for superior woodworking, but Amish craftsmen embrace time-intensive processes that cannot be rushed without compromising quality. This philosophical approach to time creates results impossible under commercial pressure. Patience begins with material preparation, allowing lumber to dry naturally over months or years rather than forcing rapid keyline drying that weakens wood fibers and reduces natural beauty. This investment in time prevents the checking, warping, and instability that characterize rushed modern furniture production. Hand tool techniques require slower work pace but produce superior results through constant adjustment and refinement impossible with power tools. Each cut can be evaluated and corrected before proceeding, preventing the accumulated errors that characterize rushed production methods. Complex joinery demands careful fitting and gradual refinement that cannot be accelerated without compromising precision. The time invested in perfect joint fit creates connections that last for generations rather than requiring repair or replacement within years of construction. Finishing processes require patience for proper curing between coats and thorough surface preparation that mass production cannot afford. Multiple thin coats applied with adequate drying time create finishes that penetrate deeply and provide lasting protection and beauty. Problem-solving benefits from patient analysis rather than quick fixes that create additional problems. When challenges arise, Amish craftsmen take time to understand root causes and develop permanent solutions rather than applying temporary measures that fail under use. The patience philosophy extends to skill development, with craftsmen understanding that mastery requires decades of practice and refinement. This long term perspective creates willingness to invest time in technique improvement that produces continuously better results. Quality inspection receives unhurried attention, allowing craftsmen to detect and correct minor issues before they become major problems. This thorough evaluation ensures that completed furniture meets the high standards that characterize Amish craftsmanship. The patience required for traditional woodworking creates meditation like focus that improves both work quality and personal satisfaction, demonstrating that slower approaches often produce better outcomes than rushed modern alternatives.